I'm so annoyed. That's the one that I wanted to do, and I was being nice. And this just goes to show. Don't be nice, Anandi.
All
Don't
right,
be
you know what?
nice.
Here, that's okay. Wait. I'll take it back.
That,
No, no,
no, it's fine.
no, no.
It's fine.
Are
You
you
take
sure?
it. Take it, Mark. Take it. I just
I'll-
want to point out to listeners that when I saw this movie, like, I loved The Wolf of Snow Hollow. It is great. Jim Cummings is great. Like, oh, everyone's great in that movie, honestly.
Mhm.
Performance-wise, fantastic. The cinematography, fantastic. It's like, yeah, the humor, fantastic. And even the themes. I
And
mean,
the fist
we'll get into
fighting.
that now. So, like, I watched this movie and I'm so excited about it. And I'm like, Mark, have you seen this? And he's like, yeah, I'm not sure if I like it.
Yeah.
Dude's so angry. And I'm like, dude. And we start talking about it. So Mark eventually like brings out his like, ooh, favorite horror movies. And Wolf is on there. And I'm like, well, good on you, Mark. Good on you for listening to Zanandi about how good this movie is. So you can have it. It's fine. Because I'm just glad you came around to how good this movie is.
My immediate reaction was not right because it was just such a different tone and such an angry character. And I love some of the really striking visuals of the film, and there's just some moments of just oddity. And so when I was done with it, I think I liked it, but I was like, I just don't know what did I just watch? It just sort of, it's not easily quantifiable. I don't know if that's the right word, quantifiable when you first watch it. But as I started thinking about it, and I watched it again, and just thinking about how angry this dude is, and the little comments that he makes, like, oh, women have been dealing with this since like the medieval times or something.
Oh my word, yeah.
And just the wolf and the different like characters, and he goes into his girlfriend's boyfriend's house and just starts beating him up. It's just because he doesn't get her back when there's an attack, which is a good rhyme. But no, just watching him again and him and his dad, just yelling at each other. And, oh man, I don't know. This movie has grown on me more so than any other movie in 2020. It really has. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just such it's a real unique wonder to me.
It is. It is. And I'm happy it's grown on you because it's really good. It's a movie about toxic masculinity at the end of the day. But it uses humor and dark comedy, and really, because that was the thing for me when I watched it the first time. I laughed so much because I laughed at men being so angry, but their anger making them so stupid.
Yeah.
And they say and do these stupid things. And the women around them are just like, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was hilarious, but at the same time also very sad because it also showed that while men are being there, macho, women get hurt. Like the whole thing about how, you know, it was so much for these people, these guys in this town to believe that a man could actually do that to women, kill women that way, that, oh no, it has to be a werewolf, right? No man can do it. It must be they would go to the supernatural because it's so difficult. It's almost like they're almost, you know, the inability to confront themselves and like their own nature, you know. And I think the movie showed that so well. And also Jim Cummings is amazing. I love deadpan humor, so he had me with the deadpan humor. Oh my word!
Just the fights and also he was a guest on the Rotten Tomatoes is Wrong podcast of The Beach, and he talks about his movie on there. So if you're bored, go listen to that so you can hear him talk about The Beach and his film. But now, I'll happily give you this movie, and I'll take something else.
No, it's fine. It's really fine, Mark. Like, I'm just giving you grief. Right. It's fine.
I'm super earnest, so you got. I'll just you can have my team. It's fine. It's fine. But no, I just it's such. You know, I was reading a review from Roger Ebert, and they called it a balancing act, and I agree too because it. But and I also this sounds weird, but I like how Jim Cummings, his performance, I wouldn't say is polished, and I think that's what makes it better. It doesn't feel.
It's not over rehearsed. It's not tight because I mean, anger isn't tight. Anger is reckless and impulsive and 100%. Yeah.
If it felt fake, I just wouldn't have liked it. Just some actor pretending. But Cummings seemed just like he wanted to fist fight everybody.
That's the thing. It would have felt like preachy if it was too tight. And he was like, yeah, like this guy, if you're just gonna look at him funny, he's gonna come out swinging. Like everyone just get away. And I love how like even the pacing of the film, just how he gradually starts like losing it. I mean, the scene also where he's after the guy and like his daughter gets up in the mix and he's freaking out over like and she's like, you're not even asking me if I'm okay.
Yeah,
And
I
he
love
goes
that
on
line.
this rant because like he's chasing a killer and blah blah blah, and she's just like, wow, you're a jackass.
Oh, I love it. And that scene with that guy, I forget who it is, but the guy kind of like pokes him in the head and then he just starts fist fighting him. And then there's this little
Yeah,
moment.
the librarian.
Yeah.
In the library.
Oh, I love it. And then remember when his daughter, she's like in front of the mirror and she does that weird dance? There's like enough cheeky moments in this and character moments and this tiny things that happen that I just really like. And it's just a rewarding movie. And I wish that there was I bought the movie, but I wish there was a commentary because I would love to hear him talk more about this movie. But I kind of like it.
That too.
And also, you know what else I like too is I haven't watched Thunder Road yet, and I need to get around to it. But since I wasn't familiar with Cummings, Jim Cummings, I saw the character as the character as Officer John Marshall. Like I didn't see it as like Tom Cruise playing a role or Adam Sandler or Jack Nicholson or any I don't know, Aubrey Plaza. I don't know. I didn't know who this dude was, so he was the character. Now that I think I appreciate it more because it's such a refreshing blast of just weirdness.
Absolutely. And Robert Foster is also so great. Like he's got that whole No Country for Old Men going on in the movie. Oh, it's so great to see him in this. Like it's really cool.
And Ricky Lindholm, she's good as Officer Julia Robson. She's good too.
She's fantastic. Oh gosh, yeah, I love her in this too. Like it's just a really good movie. I really enjoyed it, and I also love at the end how, like his kid, his daughter, like she punches a box or something.
Yeah.
And it also just shows that whole thing of like anger just spreads, and like it's if you just suppress stuff. Yeah, it's never a good idea, folks.
She's going to be angry. I love that scene. That was perfect.
She's already angry, yeah.
I loved it. Oh, cool. So we went with the wolves. So I had to do it. So
The wolves. No, that's fine. I love it. Like, I knew it was going to get picked anyway, so that's all good. As long as it makes the list, because it was on both our lists for the year anyway. It's a good one.
All right, so what's your number 2?
I shall then be going with,
There's so many good ones.
I know. Ooh, Swallow.
Hey, I was typing that in.
Swallow. Oh, Mark. Yeah. I mean, we talked about this a bit. Oh, what an excellent. And Hayley Bennett in this.
Oh, she's so good.
Give her an Oscar nom, honestly. You know what? It's really something to see anyone really. But like, especially like a woman, she played it so understated. Like this, you could see like her vibrating, but she wasn't vibrating at the same time. Like that, having complete control, but also like on the verge of exploding. Oh, she was so good in this. I can't even find the words.
I had such a hard time though, because I also thought that what Austin Stoll is her husband Richie, and then her parents Catherine and Irwin, so Elizabeth Marvel and Dennis O'Hare, like they were really good. But I hated the scenes where she had this glow to her and she was just happy and she just wanted to tell people like, I'm really happy, thank you, and everyone just dismisses her over and over. And then when the husband tells his coworkers about what happened to her, like that's
dude,
that hurt me more than any skinning or decapitation or stabbing a knitting needle into my cheek or eyes, like that. Those uncomfortable moments for her, and just watching her internalize. That's a bad word because she's swallowing things. But and then they got the guy to be there watching her around the clock, and they just wanted that baby. They didn't want her, and she just had no voice, and she was like locked away in this white collar, not prison's a stupid word, but just locked away from the world. And it just,
Absolutely. With these people that think, oh no, they're good people and they've got good intentions, but meanwhile they have no idea who this person is, so they're treating her so wrong. They're like literally doing the opposite of what they're supposed to do to help and be there and support and love her. And then like, yeah, I mean, it's a very sad movie. Listen, like it's very sad. But then, dude, yeah, the body horror. Woo!
you're right.
Starts swallowing those things and you're like, no!
And starts small and works up from there. And her performance is so good. You could...
Incredible.
But you know what it is, though? I think you nailed it, too, where it's not showy. And I think that might get it in trouble because she's not playing a real-life musician in a biopic who, gets an Oscar nomination. It's very understated, very warm, and just... when you have no one there with you and when no one listens to you, it just eats your soul and you look for other things. It's just, even that guy that was with her wasn't be there to kind of be there with her. He was kind of a warden. So she just, it's very good.
Yeah,
and it's earned.
And he was also like pretending he's like the luckiest guy in the world. And I'm like, but he's so cold. And it's like his idea of happiness and comfort and support, and then her, and I love that too, because in the beginning, it actually takes a while before they tell us what her deal is and where she comes from. Because I mean, yeah, that whole like reveal is also like, oh, okay, you can immediately see where this movie is going and whatever. But like also, that scene as well, because she talks about it, but also she talks it away. Like, and that is such a thing that we do. We do that. Like, terrible things happen to us back in the day, and then, like, but when we talk about it, it's like, oh, yeah, no, but it's fine, I'm okay. Like, but then you see her in the situation, and the people around her have no idea. They don't, and it's such a sad but a fantastic movie.
An earned ending.
Yes.
IFC really had an incredible year with horror. Swallow. Oh, we'll talk about it later because there's some movies we'll probably chat about. So now you're annoyed at me because I'm gonna pick this one second. Not annoyed. You're not annoyed, but you're like, Mark, you picked Wolf. But my number one horror movie of 2020, I'm gonna pick second, and that's Get Duped.
Oh yeah, no, I know you like that movie. Yeah, it's a bonkers movie.
Yes, it's beautiful. It's Megan's number one favorite. It was mine. It's just. It's like it doesn't exist in this world. And those four kids like DJ Beetroot just and just Ian and Duncan. I mean, it's so all right, so I guess Get Duped is about these four kids who go on this Duke of Edinburgh hike because they're juvenile delinquents and they just have to get out and do some stuff, but it all goes wrong when they start getting hunted. But
in the Scottish Highland.
Beautiful Scottish Highlands, and just throw everything that you think is going to happen out the window because it is. But I love the kids, and that kid Duncan, he's a murderer. Like he tries to kill the teacher. It's just, and then you get a bunch of farmers tripping on rabbit poop, and there's just oh man, DJ Beetroot running around, and the greatest bus van gag. And that I can ever think of. I mean, that's my humor. So if someone said, Mark, what's your humor summed up with? I'll be like, it's the van gag in.
It's the van gag.
Get Duped. It just keeps. Oh.
My favorite running joke in the movie was the notorious bread thief. I thought that little plot point was incredible. Like this little village, and the biggest problem they have is catching the bread thief that's stealing all the bread in the village. And I'm like, okay, first of all, what the hell is he doing with all that bread? Because you can't eat all that bread. It's gonna go off. That's how bread works. But also, I kind of love him and he's my hero because I love bread. And I'm like, I want to be a bread thief too.
Beautiful job. Getting some focaccia that they were like.
Yeah.
Megan made some focaccia the other day. Oh my gosh. But yeah, and then it all comes around, and none of it really makes sense, and there's just a lot of running around the beautiful Scottish Highlands. Like my favorite place on earth is the Isle of Skye in Scotland. I've been there a couple times, and I just think it's my happy place. It's beautiful out there, and I would love to have a beautiful house on the coast, maybe in Plockton, the town next to it. and then just drive over to Talisker and have some whiskey every day. But it's and pretend to root right, you know.
Just don't take the bus.
Yeah. The bread thief. It's just, but there's moments. Okay, so